Hello, it's Anna Pacheco, SantaFe101.com. My guest today is Bruce Ashburn. Bruce, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes.
Oh, good. So if you can go ahead, I know you're on a Chamber of Commerce board that it's for Luna, Hidalgo, and Grant County. So if we could just talk a little bit about the economic future for these three counties and some of your experience working on this board, I think it would be helpful for people that might be thinking of moving to New Mexico and maybe taking a look at these three different counties. So take it away, Bruce.
Sure. Just let me just qualify that with the statement that it's actually three different boards. It's three separate boards, one in Luna, one in Hidalgo County, one in Grant County, and one in Luna County. So it is three separate boards. All of those are chamber boards. I'm also involved with the Economic Development Board in Luna County as well.
Okay, well, since you're on two boards for Luna County, let's start with Luna County first. And I mean, I've had some really good interviews from that area so far, but talk a little bit about Luna County.
Well, Luna County has some really good things going for it. They have invested some serious capital, both people and money, to build two different parks for businesses to locate in. They've got some of the infrastructure concerns taken care of. I would tell you that Luna County is in a position where they're just waiting for someone to say yes. I will tell you that Southern New Mexico has for some time now had MOUs, a memorandum of understanding between the three communities, because I think you know as well as I do, if somebody wanted to locate a job, a factory or something that would require 500 employees, it would be difficult for any one of these smaller communities to be able to staff that location. So they are serious about working together to try to think of southwestern New Mexico as a unit instead of individuals.
And just to backtrack for a second, so this is an industrial park that's been built in Luna County. So they're just waiting for businesses to come on in. So there are already buildings there and everything that you would need to get that going.
That is correct. Yes.
And are there any businesses presently located there?
There's several. There's a couple of smaller manufacturing concerns. There's some opportunities for others to get there. Luna County probably has the most manufacturing of any of the areas in southern New Mexico. They have a mobile home park manufacturing concern there. And of course, the green chili factories that pump out, quite a bit. There's actually more green chili grown in Deming, in Luna County, I should say, than there is in Hatch. And the public perception of Hatch chili.
I did not know that. So it's actually larger. So that just goes to show you how marketing really works. So everybody just automatically thinks of Hatch chili. I did not know that. In terms of, so you're saying that it would be hard to get 500 people in those three counties. There wouldn't be enough. I mean, what would the combined population of those three counties be?
Oh, it would be somewhere between 80 and 100,000 between the three. And it would depend on how you looked at it as well. There's city population as well as county population that would require somewhat of a drive in order to get there. Probably the starkest contrast would be in the Silver City, Grant County area, where there's 9,000, almost 10,000 now, right at the 10,000 level, that live in the city, Silver City, and there's a 30,000 population within a 30-minute drive.
So if let's just envision that there is going to be some company's going to move here and they're going to need at least 500 employees. Where would this actual business be located then? I mean, because it wouldn't make sense for people to have to commute, 2 hours each way to work. Where would it be strategically advantageous to have this type of a business where all three counties would benefit from it?
Well, one of the things that you have to understand is that it's just about equidistant from any one of the locations. If you locate in Deming, it's basically an hour from Lordsburg to Deming. It's an hour from Silver City to Deming. So you could put the business in any one of the locations and the travel time would be the same. I'll bring to your attention that the major business, the major economic driver for Silver City and Southern New Mexico in many respects is the mining industry, the copper mine here in Silver City. And that would be Freeport-McMoRan. They hire and maintain a force of somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500, depending on how copper is at that particular point in time. And people drive from Deming, people drive from Lordsburg, they drive from all over Southwest New Mexico to get to those very good paying jobs. And that's what we would have to have in order for this to be effective.
And do you have any, are there any industries at the top of your list that say, this would complement the mining industry, or this would complement manufacturing going on in Luna? Are there any types of businesses that you're would like to court, or that you're trying to actively get to New Mexico that would complement these areas?
Well, agricultural concerns, especially with the advent of the chili popularity and other food processing things that go on in our area, onions and things of that nature are also pretty popular. There's the opportunity for agricultural to step in and complement what's already here. As a matter of fact, there's a manufacturing concern called I can't remember the name of it, but it just opened up in Silver City, and works with developing new equipment specifically to reduce labor and things of that nature with harvests and other agricultural concerns. I think one of the things that you'll find if you talk to farmers and people that have made that their way of life, they really are engineers from the standpoint that if something needs to be done, the only choice that many of them had throughout time was to invent something on their own, make it work. And it continues to this day. Those people are quite impressive when it comes to, manufacturing new equipment and things that are going to make it easier going forward. Additionally, of course, anything, you're in the broadband area. Many businesses that work on broadband and other concerns like that are prime for what we're looking to try to bring down here. And of course, if someone like a Facebook or a business of that nature would want to locate some of their facilities down here, I'm sure that they would be looked on very favorably.
Well, I was thinking, you're saying, like to complement the mines, you would want the way you're going to keep and get younger people to these areas is with better paying jobs. I hate to say this, but I'm thinking, and I've read this before, most people, they don't want to work on grandpa's farm. They want to work at Facebook or something. So it would be nice to attract those, businesses that would attract younger people, younger demographic, because that is the vitality of a community where they'll start getting married. They'll have a couple of kids. There'll be little league. There'll be schools. That is the type of, those are the type of jobs I would think that would be a lot more beneficial. Of course, the agriculture is important in the sense that it's already there to stay, and to complement that, but ideally to get younger people with high-paying jobs, that would be something to do. And you were saying just a second ago that you're in the broadband area. What does that mean?
No, I said
area or era? Era. Okay, not area. Yeah. Okay, well, we're all in that era.
What I was saying at that moment was in the broadband area. In other words, businesses that are centered around broadband access and things of that nature. Now that does bring up a challenge though, because our area, of course, being so rural, is broadband challenged. There's been some real work at the, up at the legislature to try to expand some of that, but I don't think very much got past this legislative session. And with school and other things that are still largely on broadband, So areas like southern New Mexico have had our challenges.
But aren't there more companies moving in to kind of help with that? I think I've heard in other interviews that some of the broadband is getting better in a lot of these areas.
Yep, there's a definite focus on making it better for everyone. It's kind of like when electricity went national and everybody needed to have electricity. There were
It
some,
became a utility. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
There
So
were a lot of funding opportunities and things that came out of that, so that even rural areas wound up with electricity. Well, we're in the same kind of a cycle here with broadband and other features that major metropolitan areas like Albuquerque have and kind of take for granted. They're not as readily available in areas like Silver City. And it has been a challenge to try to get our area up to the same level that you might enjoy in Santa Fe.
well, we have, it's better here, but it's, we still have we have a few issues in
Sure.
there are different parts. Like as you get closer to the Sangre de Cristo Mountains in northern part of Santa Fe, you just don't have access to internet. So we even have our challenges, and that's because of our close proximity to these mountains here. So do you live in Silver City?
I do. That's
Okay.
my place of residence. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk just a little bit about, I've had a few interviews in Silver City about, I know you've been marketing for a while now. Silver City is a retirement community. Let's talk a little bit about, I think what you have going for you there. Well, my son used to play football, so I've been to football games in Silver City, and I was quite impressed with the quality of restaurants, some really good restaurants there. I think that because you have a university there, that would attract retirees because they want to take, continuing ed, or they just want that, they just want to know that there are other, like-minded people in town that they could go to lectures and events. But so that's what they have going for them. But tell me a little bit more about what it's like to get people to live in Silver City.
Well, again, you've touched on some major points as far as recruiting. One of the things you're going to find if you look at the faculty at Western New Mexico University, I would be hard pressed to think of a professor that teaches there that doesn't have a doctorate degree. The weather, all of the different things, all 4 seasons down here with a gentle winter is very good for recruitment as far as people who might be at the end of their career or may have retired and are looking to supplement incomes. They come down here and they teach, and they bring a wealth of experience with them. So along with the mines, the university is also an economic driver in our area. One of the things that we've courted in Silver City for a very long time are the lone eagles, the people that are single entrepreneurs working from home, whether that's writers, whether it's billing clerks, whether it's any one of a million different individual businesses that really are single entrepreneur and run from home, have been targets for Silver City in particular.
Well, I think especially this year, we've all become, what do you call it, lone eagles, or well,
Sure.
I mean, we've all become, we're all working from home during this pandemic. So I think you're going to see a lot more of that going forward. Getting back to the mine, how many people does it employ?
Well, they run anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 people, depending on where copper's at and how aggressive they're being, in getting it out of the ground. By far and away, the largest and highest paying business in southwestern New Mexico, again, with the pay levels that are high enough to attract people even from Deming, Lordsburg, outlying areas. It's worth the drive to come in and work with the mines because of the pay.
And what type of expertise do you have to work at a mine? I mean, I know there's different types of jobs, but what would be like the major, like what type of jobs would, like, just like the rank and file people, what type of jobs at the mine would they get?
Well, I actually worked out there for about 3 months back in 2008, just before the economy crashed. And I was so surprised to see the amount of technology and things that are necessary to run a mine. They have radar stations all over the mine showing them any movement of ground, of dirt. They have drones. They have all kinds of capabilities from a technological standpoint. Of course, we're in the computer age, so computers are absolutely vital for what they do and transmitting information and, real-time thought processes of where they should go next as far as digging and things of that nature. And those are high-tech, jobs. They're pretty intense. They also employ electricians. They employ, plumbers. They employ all types of trade skills, welders. So the opportunities out there range from high-level educational requirements all the way down to truck drivers. That was what I was in there for. And a truck driver required the desire to go drive a truck. It was interesting to drive a 270-ton truck with 270 ton of rock on top of your head and taking it from one place to another so that it could be, at that time, it was being smelted here on location. And, it still gets transported over and trucked in and trucked out. There's all kinds of different processes that are being used here, some of which were pretty cutting edge when they first came out, but they've been around for years now. So
now does copper mining, is it kind of like the oil and gas industry where it's boom and bust? I mean, are there times where there are no jobs, or is there just this plentiful supply of copper that forever there's going to be jobs in Silver City because of that? Do you know how that works?
of course, there are definitely cycles. Typically, it was on a 5 to 10 year cycle for many, many years. I think what you're going to see now as we go forward into the green energy age, the requirements to do the things that green energy are going to need are going to entail copper. For example, in a normal combustion engine, there's approximately 30 pounds of copper. In an electric engine going forward, there may be 60 to 90 pounds of copper. So as we move into electric vehicles, as we move into solar panels more, as we look at the different things that are going to come in the future, they're all going to require the very thing that we have sitting here. The other thing that you state, you said it's going to last forever, and that's just not true. We are very fortunate that Freeport helps us look to diversify and come up with other thought processes and ways of diversifying the economy. Now they're investing quite a bit of money in order to help Silver City look at what's going to happen when they do leave. Hopefully that won't be for quite some time. And of course, as any commodity, it becomes more in need and becomes scarcer, the price goes up. So, as long as that price is high enough, we have a good future here with a.
And to your knowledge, if in New Mexico, are there other copper mines, or is it basically in your area?
I am unaware of any others in New Mexico. The largest North American mine is over in Morenci, Arizona. It's across the border, and there are many people that drive over to Morenci, whether they stay there for the week and come home on the weekends or however their schedule allows. There are people that live in our area that drive over there and staff that location. And
I'm assuming that early on there were silver mines, and that's why you're Silver City. Is that correct?
I'm sure there was silver. To be honest with you, I know that they still mine silver, gold, other elements. Molybdenum comes to mind. I know that they run across a vein of molybdenum every so often. They call it moly, and that's used in the steel process to harden steel. It's one of those things that they probably mine enough extra elements, including and especially the gold, to pay most of their costs, and then the copper would be their profit.
Okay, okay. Well, we're actually at the end of the interview, but we haven't really touched on Hidalgo. Can you spend a little bit of time here just talking a little bit about Hidalgo County? We've covered Luna, and I think we've covered Grant to a degree. What would you like to say about Hidalgo? What is the future, or what do you envision for economic prosperity regarding Hidalgo County?
Hidalgo County is a diamond in the rough. If you talk to any economic development site selector, they're going to require several things. One is they would like to get a truck from 0 to 50 in 10 minutes or less. They have I-10 running right next to them. They sit on the border of Arizona and a ton of economic opportunities. They have rail that runs right through the center of the town. They have an airport that could be adapted for whatever would needed to be, whatever would be required to ship or receive products from anywhere. The land in Hidalgo County is still very, very reasonable. It's very accessible. Good spots are available. So there's some work to be done there, but there is so much opportunity in Hidalgo County.
Well, I like that you called it a diamond in the rough. I want to thank you for this interview. And is there anything you'd like to end with?
Well, I would like to invite all of the people that listen to your broadcast to come visit Southwest New Mexico. Definitely an interesting place to come. It's not a place that you're probably going to come by accident. You have to intend to come down this way. But with that being said, when you get here, there's ghost towns. There are, the catwalk. There are so many outdoor activities that would be wonderful to visit if you spent some time down here in all three areas. They
What is the catwalk? Before I forget, what is the catwalk?
Well, it's an old development that they have made into a tourist area. There's bridges and things where you can go see the different caves and things that people might have lived in at one point in time in our evolution. And it's a really wonderful outdoor area to go visit.
And which county would that be in?
I'm really not sure which county. I think it's in Grant County, but I'm not positive. It may be just outside of Grant County.
Well, that's good to know. Well, listen, great stuff. Thank you so much, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.